So hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial video, I will show you how to create a real-time chat application with Laravel and Pusher. If till now you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. So this chat application is going to be created with Laravel and Pusher. It's going to be a real-time chat application in which we are going to run it with a localhost server, and the source code will be provided on my website. The link will be provided in the description below of this video. So in this, we are not going to be having a database. It's just going to be a real-time chat application. That means if me and a second user have opened the application at the same time, whatever I'm typing in my message, the second user can see. Whatever the user is typing in his message, I can see. This is how our application is going to work. So without wasting the time, let's start creating our chat application. So before creating our chat application, we need to set up our pusher. So for setting up our pusher, we are going to come to our Google Chrome. All right, up here, and I'm going to minimize my terminal. All right, so this is a website link which you can see up here. The link will be provided in the description below. Just come to the link, create your account or sign in with your Google account up here, and up here you can go to the channels which you can see up here. I have already created a chat app. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on a manage button up here. If you're creating it first time, there will not be a manage button. There will be a button named as create an app. Okay, so what I'm going to do after coming to this section up here, I'm going to click on a menu up here. There's not at all an option. I'm just going to make it in a full size, and you can see up here there's an option up here that is saying create an app. I'm just going to select up here, and now I need to name my app. So let's think what name I should provide to my app. That is going to be YouTube tutorial. That will be great. Or let me go with chat hyphen YT. That is going to be YouTube. And now we need to select a cluster up here. That is going to be EU, Ireland. And after that, you can select this option if you need to create an apps for multiple environments. When you select it, you're getting the options up here. Your app will be called like chat, YouTube development, staging, and a production. But I don't need it, so I can just uncheck it out. And choose your tech stack optional. This is going to be an optional. You can choose if you want. If you don't want, you no need to choose, but I'm going to choose it. So for front end, we are going to be using the vanilla JavaScript, and for a back end, we are going to be using the Laravel, that is our PHP framework. So I'm going to select it, and after selecting all of the options that they have given up here, we can just click on a create app button, and our app will be successfully created. And as you can see, our app is created, and we are directed to a getting started page in which we can see our app name. Alright, just ignore all of these options up here. Just come to the left menu up here and select the app keys. After selecting the app keys, you can see up here we are having the app ID, we are having the key, we are having a secret and a cluster. Just a small reminder that you should not copy my app key, otherwise it will give you a big fat error. So if you copy it, no problem, it will somehow work, otherwise it will not work. If you want to create a new key or a new secret ID, just click on a button below up here and the new key will be generated. But I'm not going to create a new one. I will be using the older one that is created 1 minute ago. So what I can do is I can just hover on this 3 menu up here and click on the delete button to delete our second secret key, and after that click on delete button again, and our second generated key will be deleted. So keep in mind, just open this page side because we are going to deal with our app ID, key, secret, and the cluster in our Laravel project. So now I can minimize my Chrome and I can open my terminal at the right hand side. So now let's start creating our Laravel project. So cd desktop. First of all, I will be coming to my desktop directory to create my Laravel project. And for creating my Laravel project, you need to install Composer, you need to install Laravel, you need to have Node, you need to have npm. After having all of these softwares installed on your PC, you need to run a command that is going to be composer create hyphen project Laravel /Laravel. Alright, and now we need to name our project, and it's going to be named as chat hyphen app hyphen YouTube. And now I'll press enter. Now it's going to create a fresh Laravel project for us. So it's going to take some time. So let me speed up the video till the installation is finished. Alright guys, now you can see my Laravel project is successfully created. If I come to my file explorer up here, drag it on my first monitor screen up here, come to my desktop folder up here, we can see that folder is created up here that is named as chat-app-youtube. That is going to be my Laravel project. Alright, so now I'm going to close my file explorer, and up here in my terminal I'm going to redirect. That means I'm going to come inside my created folder cd chat-app-youtube. This is going to be my Laravel project, and as you can see up here, now I am inside my Laravel project. Alright, now I'm going to run a command that is going to be npm install to install all of the needed dependencies in my project. So now it's going to install all of the packages that I need for creating my project. It's going to take some time, so I'm going to time lapse this video till the time the installation is done. Alright guys, so our npm install command is also finished successfully. Now the thing that we need to do is we need to run a command .code in our terminal to open our project in our VS Code editor. So let's run a command up here that is going to be .code. And as you can see, it is saying me that it is not recognized as an internal or external command, operable program, or a batch file. Maybe it works in our PowerShell command or a Linux terminal or a Mac terminal. No problem, it doesn't work in a command prompt. So what can I do is I can just directly select it from our VS Code editor. I can come to my code editor, click on open folder up here, come to my desktop directory, and here's a folder that is created, that is chat-app-youtube. I'm going to select it and click on select folder. And now my folder will be selected in my VS Code editor. Alright, so as you can see, these are all of the files that is there inside my Laravel project. Alright, that's cool. That's really amazing. So now let's start creating our chat application. So before creating our chat application, we are going to open our browser screen at the right hand side of our VS Code editor. And now I'm going to come inside my VS Code editor and going to open this .env file up here, which you can see inside my project folder. I'm going to select, that means I'm going to open that file up here. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down, and in the 18 line number you can see there's a text written up here that is saying broadcast driver. Alright, that is changed to log. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this log to pusher, because we need to broadcast our chat application in a real time in our pusher that we are going to be using while creating our chat application. That's it. Now let's scroll down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my pusher website where we have selected our app keys. We are going to come there and we are just going to click on a copy icon up here. After it is displayed that it is copied, we are going to come in our VS Code editor, and after our pusher app ID, which you can see up here at the end of our .env file, we are going to press 2 times enter and paste it up here. Now I'm going to select all of the codes and paste it inside my pusher app ID. This is going to be my key, so I'm going to copy and paste it up here. This is going to be my secret key. I'm going to copy and paste it up here. And as you can see, this is my cluster, that is Europe. I'm going to copy and paste it after this empty one. And now I don't need this copied text up here. I'm just going to delete it. That's cool. That's it for our .env file. Now we are going to create a new file with the help of our terminal, that is going to be our event file. So for doing that, we are going to come to our terminal up here. Inside our project, we are going to run a command that is going to be php artisan make. We are going to run a command that is going to be column event. So if you can't see up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this terminal up here, and you can see up here. Let me zoom it a bit, and you can see the command up here, php artisan make command. And after that, we are having a column. We're going to write event. That means we're going to create an event that will occur when the user sends the message. And I'm going to name it as message. And let's press enter. And now you can see up here that the event is created up here successfully. That's it. Now we can minimize our terminal. Now, where will our event file created? We can come to our app folder, which you can see up here. Inside that app folder, we can see there's a folder that is known as events. We are going to come inside that folder, and inside that folder we are having a file that we have created, that is message.php. Now we can open our message.php file. Cool. Now inside my message.php file up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom my code editor a bit so you can see what I'm doing in a clearly. So for zooming it, I'm just going to close my sidebar. You can close it with a short key that is going to be Ctrl plus B. Alright, if you need to open, just press the same short key that is going to be Ctrl plus B to open the sidebar. So I'm going to close it and I'm going to zoom my code a bit. Alright, that looks clean. Now I'm going to scroll down, and up here you can see the class is created that is named as message. Up here I'm going to write that message class implements, and we have used up here should broadcast. I'm going to use up here should broadcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select up here, copy it and paste it after it implements should broadcast. After our message is implemented, we should broadcast. Alright, and after this, use variables up here. We are going to create two more public variables, that is going to be username and a message. So let's create a public up here. Then we are going to be having a dollar symbol and our variable name, that is going to be username. Now let's create our message variable, that is going to be message. That's cool and amazing. Now when we scroll down, we can see there's a function that is created up here that is named as construct. Inside this construct function parenthesis, we are going to pass two of the variables that we have created up here, that is our username and our message. So let me pass it up here. Alright, so after doing this, what I'm going to do is I will be using this command up here. That means this username is equal to the username that I'm having inside my variable. Same thing I'm going to do with my message. This message is equal to the message that I'm having inside my variable. Cool, that's really amazing. So now when we scroll down up here, we can see there's a public function that is created up here that is broadcast on. We are returning a new private channel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this private up here, and we are going to return a new channel up here, and the channel will be named as a chat that will be broadcasted and we can see in a real time. And after this public function, we are going to create a new function that is going to be named as broadcast as. So let me create a public function and let me name it as broadcast as, parenthesis, curly braces, enter. Inside this function, I'm going to return I'm going to return a message, and that is my class, that is message. I'm going to return it up in our broadcast as function up here. Now let me save it. So that's it for our message.php file. Now we are going to come to our web.php file, that is going to be our root file, where we define all of the roots that related to our web pages. So for coming to web.php file, we are going to open our sidebar. We are going to scroll down and we can see there's a folder that is named as roots. Inside this folders, we are having a file named as web.php. So we are going to open that file up here and close our sidebar again. So inside my web.php file, we are going to use three more things. That is going to be our message, that is going to be a request, and one is going to be the response that we are going to get from the user. So let's use inside our app folder, we are having the events folder. Inside that events folder, we are having a file named as message, that is going to be our message.php. Alright, that we are going to use up here. Then we are going to use our illuminate /http/request. Then we are going to be using the illuminate /http/the response. Cool, that's it. Now we are going to scroll down a bit, and after scrolling down, we can see up here there's a root defined up here by default, that is returning us a view, that is returning us a welcome.plate.php page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this welcome to index, because it is going to be my main page. That's it. Now after changing our view file, we are going to open our sidebar, and before changing our main file, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my application. So for running my application, I'm going to come back to my terminal up here and write a command that is going to be php artisan serve. That's going to start a development servers for our project. And now what can I do is I can select this URL up here, copy it, minimize my terminal, open a new tab in my browser, paste it up here and press enter. That's going to run my application. Now as you can see up here, we are getting an error that is saying that it's an invalid argument exception. That means the index.blade.php file is not found. What I'm doing is, on my default URL, I'm saying them to return the index file, but the index file is not yet located. There's a welcome file located that was defined before. So if I just go with the welcome, if I save it, if I reload my browser screen up here, we can see our app is running fine, but I need index file to be called. So what can I do is I can come inside my resources folder. Inside my views file, we can see there's welcome.blade.php file up here. Let me just make my sidebar a bit bigger up here. I can just right click and rename my file as index.blade.php. Alright, now when I save it and when I reload my page, I should not get any error. That's cool. That means my root is defined up here successfully. So now we can open our index.blade.php and edit our HTML code up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the code and delete it. And now when I save it and reload my page should be blank. As you can see, now my page is blank. I'm getting only a single white page. So now I'm going to write a basic HTML code up here and change the title to the chat application. Alright. And after changing the title to my chat application, inside my body container, which you can see up here, I'm going to create a div which is going to be having a class of app, so we can style it with the CSS easily. Inside this div, we are going to be having a header. Alright. Inside this header, the first thing that we are going to have is a h1 tag for display our application name. That is going to be chat application. Now when I save it, when I reload my page, as you can see, it is displaying me the heading that is their chat application. Then we are going to be having an input in which the user is going to enter the username. So let me create an input which is going to be having a type of text and the name of username. And after that, we are going to provide it an ID of username so we can work with JavaScript. And let's provide it a placeholder. So the placeholder is going to be enter username. And now when I save it and reload my project up here, we can see we are having our heading that is displaying chat application, and we are having an input that is displaying a placeholder that is going to be enter username. That's our header. Alright, so inside my app class only, I'm going to create another div which is going to be having an ID of messages. Alright, so what's going to happen? What is this div going to do? In this div, whatever the user is writing a message in our message input and clicking on a send button, the message will be displayed in this div in our center of our application, like a WhatsApp or a Messenger. After this div, we are going to create a form which is going to be having an ID of message underscore form. Alright. So inside this form, the first thing that we're going to have is we are going to be having an input and a send button. So let's create an input which is going to be having a type of text and a name of message. And now we are going to provide it an ID that is going to be message underscore form. Or we can provide it an ID that is going to be our message input in which the user is going to enter the message. And now let's provide it a placeholder that is going to be message. And now let me close the input. Now I need to create a button that is going to send our message. So for creating a button, we are going to be using the button tag up here. We are going to provide it a type is going to be submit, because we are going to submit our message, and we are going to provide it an ID that is going to be message send. And now let me close my button tag up here. Now I'm going to provide a text to my button that is going to be send, as simple. And now when I save it and now when I reload my application up here, we can see we are having a message input and our send button. So I will be explaining you the structure of our chat application because I have not provided you a live demo. So what is going to be up here? We are going to be having a header in which we are going to be having a heading that is being displayed up here. We are going to be having a username input in which the user can enter the username, and it should be entered, otherwise the user cannot send any kind of a message. So when the user enters the username, it will be saved, and after that user can enter the message that he need to send. Alright, hi there. And when the user clicks on a send button, we are going to display this message with the user's name in our div, which is having an ID of messages, which you can see up here. Have you got the structure of our website? If you got it, that's cool. If you did not, don't worry about it. We'll get through it in short time. Alright, so our structure is created up here. Now let's link our CSS and our JavaScript file. CSS for styling our application and JavaScript for adding some functionalities, some powerful functionalities in our application. So first of all, let's link our CSS file. So for linking our CSS file, we are going to write up here a link tag, and we're going to provide it a rel that is going to be style sheet and href to link my file // If I open my sidebar up here, what does this // means? That means inside my resources folder only, come outside of views folder, and there's a CSS folder. Inside this CSS folder, I'm going to create a file that is going to be app.css. And if I open this CSS file, the file is already created. Cool. Now I can just close my sidebar and even close my link. Same thing I'm going to do with my JavaScript file. After my div, that is going to be my app div, ends, I'm going to create a script tag which is going to be having a source up here. That is going to be outside of my views folder. There's a JavaScript folder and there's a file named as app.js, and I'm going to close my script tag. That's it. So now I have linked my CSS and my JavaScript file with my index.plate.php. After it's done, let's start styling our application. So for styling our application, we can see up here that we have linked our CSS file that is there inside our CSS folder, but inside our resources folder only. So we can see up here we are having our resources folder. Inside this resources folder, we're going to open our CSS folder and open our app.css file. And just for a basic styling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up here a body tag, and I'm going to change a background hyphen color to red. When I just do that and save it and reload my application, as you can see the background color is same, white. It is not changed to red. So for running our app.css file, we need to run a command in our terminal that is going to be npm run dev, and what it is going to do, it is going to compile our CSS and our JavaScript file from resources to our public folder. It's going to create our CSS and JavaScript file, and in which we're going to be having our CSS file and our JavaScript file included in our public folder that is going to work in our front end. So for a clear example, I'm going to come to my terminal up here. I'm just going to stop my server, local server up here, and I'm going to run a command that is going to be npm run dev. For a clearness, I'm just going to clear all of the command that's up here by writing a command that is going to be cls. Alright, and after that we're going to run a command that is going to be npm run dev for compiling our CSS and JavaScript file. Let me just run this command. It's going to take some time, so I will just make my video bit faster till the time it is finished. Alright guys, as you can see, there's an alert box appeared up here on my Windows that is saying the Laravel build is done successfully, and we can see up here they are showing up here a message that is saying compiled successfully in 3084 ms, and our JavaScript file that is there inside our JS folder, in our CSS folder we are having our CSS file is compiled successfully. Now if I come to my VS Code editor up here, and if I open my public folder, we can see the CSS and the JavaScript file is created successfully, and inside that files we are having our app.css file. If I open that, we can see the same code that I've written inside my resources folder is compiled in my app.css that is there inside my public folder. Alright, so now I'm inside my resources CSS file. Alright, and now when I reload my page, the background color should change to red, and boom, we are getting an error up here because we have not run our application. So for running it back again, we're going to come back to our terminal and run a command that is going to be php artisan serve, or not serve, it is going to be serve. Alright, and our development server is started. Let me minimize my terminal and reload my application back again, and as you can see, our chat application background color is successfully changed. Awesome. So now let's start styling our application. So alright guys, so now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to explain all of the CSS code that I'm going to write up here for styling my chat application to you, because this video is only in the depth of how to create our chat application functionalities, not how to design our chat application. So what I'm going to do is the CSS code that I'm going to write up here is going to be time-lapsed in a speed. So let's start. Alright guys, so now we have done styling our application. Now I've saved my stylings up here. If I reload my application up here, as you can see up here, the stylings are not applied. The background color is still red. So what I need to do is I need to come back to my terminal up here, stop my server, and run a command back again that is going to be npm run dev. So let me clear a code from my terminal up here, run a command that is going to be npm run dev, and after running this dev command it is going to compile my css file and my javascript file back again, and as you can see it's done successfully. Alright, now I'm going to run my application back. So for running it, that is going to be a command that is going to be php artisan serve command. Alright, so my development server is started. Now I'm going to minimize my terminal, and now when I reload my project up here, you can see, boom, the stylings are appearing up here successfully. Cool. And now there's a single error while styling my application. That was, this message box should be displayed at the end of my at the bottom end of my screen. So for styling I have provided it a ID that was message. It should be messages, so I have added s again. Come back up here to repeat the same format back again, run the command of run dev, and after it is compiled successfully, run our application back. Come to our browser screen and our VS Code editor, and now when I reload my application, boom, now it looks really cool. We are having our heading here. The user is going to enter the username, that is going to be any username, that's going to be Delcores, and the user can enter the message up here, hi there. And when I just click on enter, nothing is happening. The page is reloaded. So now we are going to add some functionalities with JavaScript that is going to be dealing and working with our chat application. Alright guys, so now we are going to come back to our web.php file, and I'm going to close my sidebar with a shortcut that is going to be ctrl plus B. And now I'm going to create a new route from up here that is going to take the username and a message that the user is entering in the input field that we have created for username and the message. So for that I'm going to create a route, and the route is going to be using the method that is going to be post method. We are going to be having a parenthesis in which we are going to be having a single quotes. We are going to provide a URL that is going to be / send hyphen message, comma. Now we're going to create a function up here, and in this function, the parenthesis that we are having, we are going to pass two arguments, that is going to be request, and the variable that is going to be $request. Cool. And now I'm going to close my route with the semicolon. Now inside my route, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my event function up here. In this event function, I'm going to create a new message. Now what does this new message do? This new message will create for me a new class that is having a name of message. So I'm going to say them to create me a new message, parenthesis, I'm going to request the username. So I will be requesting from the input the username. Alright, and after this parenthesis we are going to be having a comma. I'm going to request the message from the input. So input, inside the parenthesis I'm going to enter the ID that is going to be message that I have provided to my input, and after that I'm going to end it with a semicolon. That's it, and it is going to return square brackets. If it is successfully done, we're going to be having a fat arrow function, and it's going to be returning us true, and I'm going to end it with a semicolon. That's it. Let me save it, and that's it for our web.php file. Now we are going to add some functionalities with the help of JavaScript. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close all of these files that are opened up here. so it will be really easy to work in our smaller screen. I'm going to open my sidebar. Inside my resources folder, we can see that we are having a JavaScript folder in which I'm having app.js file and bootstrap.js file. Alright, so in my app.js file, you can see that it is requiring dots / a bootstrap. That means it is requiring my bootstrap.js file. In this file, we can see up here, we are having a commented lines of code up here. That is, Echo exposes an expressive API for subscribing to channels and listening for events that are broadcast by Laravel. Echo and event broadcasting allows your team to easily build robust real-time web application. So now what we are going to do is we are going to select these lines of code up here and we are going to press Ctrl plus question mark to uncomment it out. After uncommenting it out, we can see what we need to do is we need to install Laravel -echo and pusher -js in our project. So for installing it, we are going to open our terminal. So let's open our command prompt up here. I'm going to stop my server that is running up here by pressing Ctrl plus C, and I'm going to clear all of the code that is written up here by writing a command cls. And now I'm going to install Laravel -echo and pusher -js in my project. So let me come to my terminal up here and I'm going to write a command that is going to be npm I. What does I means? I means we need to install that and I need to save it. So --- save. What I need to install? I need to install the Laravel -echo file and pusher -js. And now I'm going to press enter to install these two files in our project. And after it's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run another command that is going to be composer require pusher / pusher -php -server. Alright, as you can see, we are getting an error up here that is saying me your requirements could not be resolved to an installable set of packages. That means it is using 7.0 version. So we are getting an error up here because it's using the PHP version that is 7.0. The latest version is 8.0.12. So here's the use the option -w to allow the upgrades, downgrades and removals for packages currently logged to specific versions. We can fix it easily. So we are going to write the same command back again. So for getting the same command back again, we are going to press the up arrow that is on our keyboard, and after that we are going to add -W, and now let's press enter. Now it's going to work fine. Alright, we are not getting any error. That's cool. Alright guys, now it's done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a command that is going to be npm run watch. What does this command do? This command do if I have changed or if I have added any kind of a code in my app.js file, no need to run npm run dev again and again. So it will automatically run it. So I'm going to run this command that is going to be npm run watch. So this command is going to be run in my terminal up here. So I'm going to open my VS Code editor and my browser screen up here. As you can see, it is saying the Laravel mix is done successfully and it is watching. So now let's minimize our terminal. Now I'm going to open my terminal, new terminal that is going to be opened in my VS Code editor. And now here I'm going to run my project by running a command php artisan serve. Alright, let me reload the page. Amazingly, it's working fine. So for checking it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this app.js file up here and I'm going to create an alert that is going to be hello world. Now when I save it, what should it do is it should display me the alert message without running a command npm run dev, and my build will be run automatically and it will show me an alert at this point up here, bottom below. Let me end it with a semicolon and let me save it. As you can see, we're getting an alert that is displaying Laravel makes build successfully. Alright, so now when I reload the page, we should get the alert that should display us hello world. And as you can see, it is displaying me hello world. That means my npm run watch command is running up successfully. Now let's click on OK and let's start writing our JavaScript code. So the first thing up here is that we are going to create 4 variables. The first variable is going to be named as messages underscore element. Alright, the second variable that I'm going to create, that is going to be username underscore input, to get the username from our username input that we have created in our application. Now let's create our third variable that is going to be message underscore input, to get the message the user is entering in our message input. And the last variable that we're going to create is going to be message form. Alright, so let's come to our first variable, and up here I will be using the document dot get element by id. In parentheses I'm going to be having a double quotes, and I'm going to select the id that I have provided to my messages element, that is going to be messages. Let me end it with a semicolon. Alright, so now when I come to my blade file up here, let me scroll up here. This is going to be my index.blade.php file. We can see up here that we are having a div which is having an id of our messages, in which we are going to display the messages that the user is entering in our message input. Alright, so we have selected it. Now inside our second variable, we are going to select our input for our username. The id I have provided to my username input is username. So for selecting it, I'll be writing a command document dot get element by id. Same thing I'm going to repeat up here again. I'm going to select the id that I have provided to my username input, that is username. Now I'm going to come to my third variable. I'm going to write a command document dot get element by id parenthesis double quotes and message underscore input. And now let's come to our last variable, document dot get element by id parenthesis, in which we're going to be having a double quotes and the id that I have provided to my message form, that is message underscore form. For checking it, we can come to our .env file up here. Not .env file, we can come to our index.blade.php file up here, and we can see our form is having an id of message underscore form. Alright, that's correct. Now we are going to select our fourth variable, that is going to be our message underscore form, and we are going to add an event listener to it. We are going to say when our form is submitted, that means when the user clicks on a send button, we are going to add some functionalities. So when the user clicks on the submit button, that means when our form is submitted, we are going to call a function up here which is going to take an argument that is going to be e, that means an element, and inside this function we are going to select our e and prevent it as a default. And now we are going to create a variable that is going to be let has errors, has underscore errors, and that equals to false. That means we are not having any kind of an error now. Alright, now we are going to be using the if and else statement. If our username input, okay, if our username input, if its value is double equals to null, that means if the user is not entering the username, we are going to execute this code in which we're going to show an alert that is going to be please enter a username. And after that, I'm going to select the variable that I have created is has errors, that equals to, I'm going to make it true because we are having an error. Then we're going to create our second if statement that is going to select our message input. If its value, not input, if its value is double equals to null, we are going to execute this code in which we're going to display an alert that's going to display please enter a message. And then we're going to select the variable that is has errors, and we're going to make it true. Now we are going to create another if else statement up here, in which we're going to select our has errors variable if our has errors is true. If we are having any kind of an error in our username input or our message input, what we are going to do is we are going to return. That means we are going to return outside of our message underscore form. That means this function. That's cool. Now we are going to create another variable which is going to display us the message in our console.log. So now after my last if statement, I'm going to create a variable that is going to be options. That equals to, we are going to be having an object in which the method that we are going to be having, that is going to be a post method, comma. The second thing, we are going to be having a URL. That is going to be the URL, that means the root that I have provided in my web.php file. If I open it up here, that is send hyphen message. So let me just write it up here, / send hyphen message. Let me add a comma, and now we need to send the data. So data is going to be having an object in which we are going to be having a username that is going to display the username that the user have entered in the input field. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my username input dot its value. Same thing I'm going to be doing with the message input dot its value. That's it. Amazing, cool, it's done. All right. And after that, what we are going to do up here, if we come to our bootstrap.js, we can see up here we are requiring our Axios. So let's come to our app.js, and after our options object that we have created up here, we are going to use the Axios up here, in which we are going to call our options variable. All right, the Laravel build is successfully done. And after that, what we are going to do is, after our add event listener function, we are going to select our window dot, we are going to do the echo statement up here, in which we are going to have our channel that we are having. So echo in our channel, that means display in our channel. And what was the channel name that I have provided in my message event? That was a chat. So for checking it, we can come to our sidebar, we can come to our events folder up here, we can open our message.php and scroll down a bit. We can see we have created a new channel and the channel name is chat. All right. So I'm saying window.echo the stuffs in my channel name chat. All right. In this, I am going to execute a code that is going to be console.log. all right, so first of all, let me add this listen up here, in which we are going to be adding a dot message. All right, comma, we are going to be having a fat arrow function up here, which is going to take an argument that is going to be e, that means an event. In this, I'm going to console.log. What I'm going to do, console.log, I'm just going to use the console.log to my message. So let me save it. And inside this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a messages. I'm going to select my messages element, in which I need to display the message that the user have entered in our username and our message input. So I have selected my ID, in which I need to display all of my messages. That means a div. I'm going to use the inner HTML up here, that equals to how I'm going to display it. So we are going to be having a single quotes up here, plus equals to a single quotes, in which you're going to create a div, which is going to be having a class of message. All right, and now we're going to close this div up here, and we're going to create a strong tag. Inside this strong tag, what I'm going to do up here is that we are going to end our single quotes up here, and we're going to concatenate and display first of all our username. So our event, and we're going to select our username. Then we're going to be having the plus operator back again, single quotes, we're going to be showing a column up here, and we're going to end up here our strong tag. Beautiful. And after that we're going to be adding again a plus operator, and then we are going to be having e dot message. Alright, then we're going to be having the plus operator back again, single quotes, and we're going to close our div up here. And now let me end it with a semicolon. Beautiful. And now we're going to add a space after my strong tag ends, and let's save it. Alright, so now we can reload our chat application to check whether our real-time chat application works or not. So for that I'm going to reload my chat application. Okay, it's done. Now we are going to enter our username up here, that is going to be easy to code, and I'm going to write a message that is going to be hi there. And now when I just press enter, it is displaying me the message that is hi there. So for a big example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this screen at left hand side. I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to drag it in the right hand side, and I'm going to copy the local host server up here and paste it in my next browser screen, and reload even my left browser screen up here. Alright, for a good example. Now in my first chat application, think that is opened in our new device, and our second chat application, that means this one, is opened in our another device if our project is uploaded in our server. So I'm going to enter a username that is going to be Delcoris, and up here this is easy to code. Alright, and now let's write a message. If I write a message that is going to be hi there, comma, how are you? Okay, and now when I press enter, the message is sent, and Delcoris has sent the message. It is being displayed in our Delcoris chat app, and we can also see in my easy to code chat application. Alright, so I'm going to write a message that is going to be I am fine. Let's press enter, and the message is delivered, and even the Delcoris can see the message, and even I can see the message in my messages div. This is how we create our chat application with the help of Laravel and Pusher. If you like the tutorial video, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.